improve diet quality, spend less money on food, get all of my nutrients, improve my long-term health outcomes, and quit dieting. That is what Nutrivore the book is all about.
Is Nutrivore just another diet book?
Oh my gosh, no. So this is the book in question, Nutrivore, the Radical New Science for Getting the Nutrients You Need from the Foods You Eat. And if anything, it's more like an anti-diet book. Or, here's the thing. Nutrivore is kind of awkwardly, I think, somewhere in between diet and anti-diet. So with Nutrivore, I am teaching you the nutritional sciences sort of general education that will help you make easy additions and simple swaps within your food preferences to get more nutrients from your diet. But the philosophy itself, there's no foods you have to eat, there's no foods you have to avoid. And in fact, I go through the harm of restrictive dieting and the psychological impacts of this in this book and make a case for all foods fitting into a healthy diet. That doesn't mean all foods can fit into a healthy diet in any amount, but then this book is also about understanding the relative proportions of different types of foods and how they contribute nutritionally to our overall diet. So I actually make a really strong case for an anti-diet mentality while teaching you the nutritionally important foods to help inform your day-to-day choices. The goal is to develop long-term healthy habits that are overall healthy eating patterns, right? So I often say the goal of Nutrivore is sustainable nutrition. So overall higher diet quality without the on again, off again diet roller coaster. So if I had to distill, right? So Nutrivore, like the book, like what you get out of the book into like a tagline, it would be, what are nutrients and why should I care? Right? That's really like the goal of this book. That like the next level deeper is, and how do I let go of all of my food fear so I can eat in this more nutrient focused, healthy way without dieting, right? That would be like the second, like, oh, I get an extra 10 floors on my elevator pitch, right? So I would say my main goal with this book is to help you understand what nutrients do in the body. There's 49 essential nutrients, right? So nutrition is inherently complex. We can't simplify a healthy diet to one thing, even though diets for 70 years have taught us that it's, oh, you just cut out this one thing. You just reduce this one thing and then that's it. That's a healthy diet. That's not what the actual field of nutritional sciences shows. That doesn't mean that eating a nutrient-focused diet, right, choosing foods to meet our nutritional needs is complex, because foods give us more than one nutrient. So I can choose this food over here and it'll give me 10 nutrients, and then this food over here will give me 15 nutrients, right? So there are ways to simplify the food choice aspect of it. But I still think that understanding how nutrients are directly linked to my health concerns is a really important part of understanding how to tweak food choices to get more nutrients, and is a really important part of appreciating the value of nutrient dense foods. So the first part is about really like that any food can fit into a healthy diet sort of mentality, the overall eating patterns that are more that give us more nutrition without trying, right? So the things that we can do in terms of like proportion of plant foods, increasing dietary diversity, choosing more whole foods and what those actually are, those types of like overall pattern changes that can mean we're helping to meet our nutritional needs without having to do any more effort than that. And then the second part is all, how is this nutrient linked to the thing that I have, right? So I do 27 examinations of the link between one specific nutrient and one health challenge. Every health challenge has multiple nutrient associations, and every nutrient has multiple health challenge associations. So it's not about like, oh, I get migraine headaches, so I need more magnesium. It's more about making nutrition personal by doing these examinations. Like I pretty much have all of the biggies covered between those 27 examinations. And then in one of the appendices, I have a list of 120 different health conditions and symptoms and all of the nutrients linked. So then you can go, okay, well, I've got migraine headaches. What are the other nutrients here that might help alleviate my headaches? So yeah, so very much like why should I even care about nutrients? That is my main goal. My main goal is to get your foot in the door and go, aha, okay. I see how getting more nutrients can improve my specific situation. And then the third part is the practical. The third part is making it as simple and straightforward and formulaic, if you like a formula, as possible. You don't have to do the formula if that's not something that works for you. But it's very much about like taking all of that information and now what are the action steps? What are the simple swaps, the easy additions, the nutritionally, food, like super valuable foods that sort of expedite the process of meeting my nutritional needs as quickly as possible. What are some mix and match style recipes that'll make this really easy so I can just use whatever happens to be in my kitchen, or use these recipes to like intentionally figure out that dietary diversity part and mix things up. So that's all in the third part of the book. So yeah, it's not a diet book, not quite an anti-diet book, somewhere in between. I would say the dietary philosophy leans more anti-diet because we really do intentionally make room for all foods. I think that joy is a really important ingredient for a healthy diet. If you're not enjoying the foods that you're eating, it doesn't matter how healthy that diet is, you're not going to be able to stick to it. So understanding the relative proportions of those foods and how to intentionally make room for foods that improve my quality of life, because they're my comfort foods. They're the flavors I love. So that's in the dietary philosophy part of this, looking at a lot of like psychology of dieting. But then it's a lot of basic nutritional sciences education, looking at huge bodies of scientific literature on what are the overall best eating patterns, how certain nutrients can improve certain, health situations. So all of that, like how to make those easy, accessible changes that will help me get more nutrients from my diet, even though I'm continuing to eat the foods that I love. And all of that is then in a package of, easy, accessible, affordable foods. So another piece of this is I have a whole chapter in here, chapter 10, dedicated to myth busting, because a lot of the nutrition myths out there online are designed to make you afraid of foods so that you feel like you have to buy the more expensive thing. So I bust, I don't know, 20-ish myths in that chapter so that you can also feel comfortable reducing your food budget. So improve diet quality, spend less money on food, get all of my nutrients, improve my long-term health outcomes, and quit dieting. That is what Nutrivore the book is all about.